We were first approached by Nottingham Trent University in December of 2016. They had a scheme that they were looking to develop in a newly acquired part of their educational business called Confetti. They have carved out a niche for themselves in the multimedia sector. And when I say multimedia, I mean music, film, production, direction and engineering. They've got a world-class reputation and they're looking to build on that by providing a new state-of-the-art building. The staff at Confetti had an incredibly clear vision of what they wanted, and that actually helped us to develop our engineering solutions in order to provide them with that clear space in which they could do what they needed to do. The fact that it was a city centre hub for them is useful because it means that all the students are in and around the city centre, and it's got that vibrancy. It's in the middle of the cultural quarter, and they were very keen to keep there, which meant that we had to work very hard to make sure that the internal environments of that building were not affected by noise, traffic, by air pollution, and that led us very much towards developing a system that was able to provide them an internal environment that was incredibly efficient but able for them to carry out their core duties, which was basically to offer this education facility that's not really offered anywhere else in the country. The Confetti buildings really allowed us to push the envelope of what we can do with environmental buildings. We're looking to take as many systems out of it as possible and only apply systems that have any form of energy intensity into those areas which can't be dealt with in any other way. Combining highly sealed facades but with very low demand-led ventilation systems, for example. What that means is that we're delivering the minimum amount of air throughout the whole building all of the time, but matching the loads within the building to where they were using the building the most. People think they understand what engineers do for a job. They think it's all sums and it's all drawings and it's all specifications. And in reality, that's a very small part of the overall package that we try to do as an engineer. The main thing, and I tell all of my young graduate engineers, all of the apprentices that we employ, is that engineering is all about communication. You might be able to calculate all the pipe sizes or the duct size. You might be able to work out three-dimensional fluid flow through an auditoria, but if you can't explain what you're trying to do with that system, then you cannot really engineer that system. And it was incredibly interesting on the Confetti building because we had an educated client. We had one client from the estate side who was very conversant in the building industry, and we had the Confetti client side who were obviously very conversant in what they wanted this building to do from a media studies point of view. And an incredibly professional design team led by Alan Joyce Architects.
From the outset, the M&E strategy was quite clear. We'd got a building that we knew wanted to draw on industrial heritage and a very sort of contemporary industrial aesthetic. So, for example, exposed shuttered concrete surfaces for the soffits and walls were an initial part of the scheme, and so as a result of that we decided early on that it would be an exposed services approach. That led to an understanding of the very specific requirements Confetti have for quality work on cable trays, duct work and lighting. So the M&E aspect was an integral part of the aesthetic rather than just an integral part of the performance of the building. But Jonathan came in having had sort of similar, I suppose, in some ways, experience on a very creative and a very high-profile job working on the Everyman Theatre in Liverpool.
I think when you start out on your career as an engineer, your main aim isn't to go out and win prizes, but in 2015 the Everyman Theatre won the RIBA Sterling Prize Award, which is pretty much the most prestigious prize you can win in architecture. For those of you not aware of the Everyman Theatre, it's a 450-seat theatre in the centre of Liverpool. And it was 7 years of my life, a wonderful 7 years, because we knew we were doing something special. The Everyman Theatre in particular pushed every level of our engineering that we did at Waterman's to the very limit of what we knew. And that's the sort of thing that gets you up out of bed in the morning as an engineer, is that you've got a problem to solve And if there's no easy solution, you've got to look around, you've got to push what you know, you've got to push the limits of what's available. And who knows, maybe the graduates in 5-6 years' time, they'll be on the Everyman Theatre stage.